Uncle Joel, and this is Pen and Reel, where I'll take a look at media issues not from the perspective of a fan or consumer, but as a writer and filmmaker. Transformers has been in a bit of a precarious position for some time now. With the successful first movie, the studios went full steam ahead with turning this into a franchise, churning out movie after movie, albeit with diminishing returns. Unfortunately, it quickly became apparent that Michael Bay had little care for the source material or continuity. He didn't seem to understand what made the property so enduring. But even worse, he lacked the ability to tell a compelling story. In my opinion, the only good movies in the franchise are the first one, followed many years later by Bumblebee, and that one succeeded in large part due to a separation from what came before it. So, what was the problem? What was the issue with Michael Bay's approach? How can they do a quality Transformers movie in the future that doesn't repeat the mistakes of the past? Now, there are generally two approaches to storytelling: character-driven and plot-driven. With character-driven storytelling, the plot adapts to the characters, flowing around them and modified as the characters grow, make decisions, and affect the world around them. Stephen King is a strong example of this, as he is known for creating a couple of characters, throwing them in a room, and seeing how they interact, developing the story around how they progress. The other style is plot-driven storytelling, which focuses on the narrative, creating characters that are adapted to fit into the world and story that is being told. Comic writer Justin Jordan generally works this way, wherein he develops the story first and then creates characters according to what the plot necessitates. Now I bring this up because Michael Bay utilizes a third method: spectacle-driven storytelling. He's not so much concerned with characters or plot, but rather in the excitement he can elicit, with the special effects and big action set pieces being the primary concern. And that isn't necessarily bad, but it doesn't make for very good storytelling, which in turn makes for movies that are very mixed. I believe Michael Bay would be best as a special effects guy working alongside someone else who can focus on the storytelling. But what would be best for Transformers? Speaking realistically, plot hasn't been a strong suit of the series outside of the comics, with a few exceptions in some of the animated series. I was particularly fond of Beast Wars. So unless you can come up with a particularly compelling story, I believe the best route to go would be to focus on the characters. So first off, give us a strong core cast, kind of like the first movie, and Bumblebee. Have each character distinct and unique, such that they can be played off of one another or against each other, making for an eclectic and interesting group. Focus on developing their personalities. Don't just make each one a caricature and roll with that. We need personalities that feel real, relatable, and believable. And if you want in future movies to swap characters out for new ones, as is likely for toy sales and merchandising, not only should there be a story reason for this, but the new characters should be treated with the same level of respect to origin as the old ones. A compelling cast can make or break a movie, so doing right by the characters should be high priority. And then maintaining a strong human character connected to the Transformers is great, so long as it doesn't get hokey. Sam Witwicky was great in the first film. It was only in the subsequent films that I took issue with his conclusion. Give me a character who connects with the Transformers, shows them that humanity is sentient, and teaches them what it means to be an organic being, and that humanity can be good, even if they are attacking the Autobots. In subsequent films, this human character, or characters, can be kept around as human liaison, the only trusted human, regardless of age, skill, and so forth. This can be played for comedic effect, but most importantly, it provides an attachment and connection that otherwise would not be there. As for plot, don't get too crazy with it, at least to start. This is about a war from a distant planet being brought to Earth. The war between the Autobots and Decepticons gets mankind trapped in the middle. We can have military involvement, sparking a strange new war on Earth, with it difficult to tell who is good and who is evil from humanity's perspective, and from the perspective of the Transformers. They're all giant robots fighting one another, and they're all humans attacking all the robots, causing collateral damage and leaving destruction in their wake. Only the Autobots prove more noble. Under Optimus Prime's command, doing everything they can to move battles away from civilization, minimize damage, even to the point of refusing to fight back when mankind attacks them in ignorance. This goes back to characterization. Make the morals and perspectives of the differing factions clear to us, even if they aren't to humanity in the film. Beyond the first movie, I see no reason to confine the film to Earth. Take the fight back to Cybertron. The humans can follow. The human element would be difficult to maintain, but again, we need to focus on character. Make the person that sticks with them determined to help, despite the overwhelming odds. Send military personnel who can offer some combat assistance with the aid of Cybertronian tech. Have it be a civilian, like Sam, but he wouldn't just be there to save. He could use his smaller size to access places discreetly and could function as a very unexpected spy in vital circumstances. With careful planning, the human connection with the Autobots could be essential to turning the tide of the war without feeling goofy, and it would show the difference between the Autobots and Decepticons via their regard or disregard for organic life. The main thing would be to keep the focus on the war. This isn't a series of disputes between rival gangs. This is an ongoing war between two distinct factions of an alien race. Explore their differences in ideology. Grow the different tensions between them. Showcase the familiarity between Optimus and Megatron that makes their rivalry more than simply being enemies. Make us believe that the animosity between them runs deep. And build on the mythology. Make the Allspark something mythical, truly otherworldly. Entertain the notion that technological life evolved on a different planet. It doesn't have to be explained through and through, but brought up as a strange, seemingly impossible idea that is somehow proven true. I'm not too concerned with previous canon in this regard, which will probably bother purists, but the idea is to develop it in such a way that it would spark new interest beyond the established hardcore fan base. So in that spirit, introducing new mysteries that grow the world can only be beneficial, so long as they're handled delicately. Part of building the mythology will be a focus on continuity. Give us Hot Rod in the first movie, and grow his character so that he can eventually become Rodimus Prime. Have Starscream more than a bumbling, conniving sidekick, but an eventually successful usurper, who is in turn overthrown when Megatron returns as Galvatron, with Unicron following in his wake. Give us a truly epic showdown between Unicron and Primus as the culmination of the series, the end of the trilogy. This could serve as the finality, but still leave it open for continuation as the Decepticons do not accept defeat, even if the godlike Unicron is defeated and the Autobots have claimed Cybertron. This could create new storytelling potential as the Autobots are no longer the underdogs, but they do not know how to contend with a more subversive, terrorist-like organization of Decepticons. They could even go further and explore the Beast Wars and Beast Machine storylines, showcasing the early Earth inclusion of Transformers adapting to animals instead of vehicles and electronics. Or scrap the early Earth part altogether and show the Transformers beginning to adapt to organic life, attempting to incorporate organics into their systems, giving us Beast Wars in modern times. And ultimately, it would be about Cybertron incorporating the organics, with both the species and planet adapting to a techno-organic existence. Maintaining the connection with humanity could be crucial to this transition. Overall, I think there's a lot of ground to be covered within the universe that could make for very interesting stories, if they are done right. Maintaining an overarching story, consistent characters and characterization, and a strong continuity would be crucial. Random, disparate stories do nothing to service the world, but if so desired, they could be good side stories similar to the way Solo and Rogue One functioned for Star Wars. So long as the main series maintains a focus and consistency, spin-offs would be acceptable, and maybe even welcomed, so long as they further develop the characters and world. But maybe I'm not enough of a Transformers fan and I left out something essential. Maybe I ignored a key element that makes the origins of the Transformers what they are, and my mention of technological evolution makes you cringe. Or maybe you have more specific ideas of where they could go to make stronger, more compelling Transformers movies. Whatever your thoughts are on the matter, I want to hear them. So let me know down in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you think. And until next time, this is Uncle Joel saying, stay tangible.